Hello guys, my name is Brandon Fairfax, and today for my research project we'll be going over the social impact of extracurricular activities on children. Moving into a brief overview, talking about some things we'll be discussing today. That includes the statement of purpose, the theoretical framework, literature review, dependent and independent variables, alternative methods, research design, participants and procedures, limitations as well as delimitations, implications for the future research. Now, variables that contribute to a given person's capacity to speak with ease publicly exist. This is a fact. Social anxieties and widespread fear of public speaking resonate with most younger people. Now, this is known as a problem. Research must, in fact, locate a potential solution to this ongoing problem. In order to do that, this study is going to thrive to determine if extracurricular activities somehow influence a child's performance in public speaking. Our statement of purpose is that this study in particular will strive to uncover differences between those who did or did not particularly interact with extracurricular activities as children. It's also going to examine their overall confidence level while speaking publicly. And this study is going to offer guidance for guardians and parental figures within a child's life, those who particularly wish for their children to be more self-sufficient in public speaking. Now, while using conventional qualitative content analysis, that is how data and information will be obtained for this study. Now, reasoning for that particular method was selected based off of a limited amount of research that supports this particular subject. It should be known that previous analysis and research behind this topic came up with a limited amount of information that doesn't necessarily support this research topic that we're studying today. Moving into our theoretical framework. Now, through the use of surveys, a broad collection of data is going to be gathered so that an accurate and contemporary representation of children's social performance can be used and examined throughout the study. The foundational question or theory that guides this research exists to be the extracurricular activities and how they influence a child's public speaking performance. The study is going to utilize Pigot's cognitive development theory, as well as identity management theory to examine children's mental development as well as their behavioral elements. The two research questions that guide this theory are going to be how participation in extracurricular activities bolsters a child's readiness to participate in social interactions, as well as if extracurricular activities provide children with the social skills necessary to thrive inside and outside of the classroom, do certain activities prove more advantageous than others? Moving into our literature review, there were various sources that I had studied and reviewed and analyzed so that I can provide as much information as possible for this research study. I categorized all those sources into three subcategories, that being dependent, independent, as well as alternative. Now, as far as the dependent sources came to be, through the use of traditional extracurricular activities, children's school performance and social development were strengthened. That was the conclusion from those sources. Now, in regards to the independent sources, the conclusion came to be variables of quality of education, financial stability, and overall initiative in regards to these children had to do with a cognitive social fear to various social life impairments. That last category or subcategory relates to alternative methods. In the summary of all those sources had deduced that incorporating electronic devices within extracurricular activities or after-school activities would heighten a child's readiness and performance inside and outside of the classroom. And moving into research design, quality research analysis is what we had used, which is relating to the communication and children's overall humanistic elements. Now, surveys were used in the study as well. It was used on children under the supervision of guardians, as well as being used towards young adults. Now, the questions that were being used for this had to relate to childhood participation in extracurricular activities, as well as someone's overall confidence in social interactions. Participants utilized a rating scale from 1 through 5, which provided participants an opportunity to answer each question genuinely and honestly. Now, one of the independent variables within this qualitative research analysis had to be a child's willingness to disclose participation in extracurricular activities, what they classified as being participation. Now, a dependent variable had to deal with the honest disclosure of confidence while engaging in dialogue. How confident do we feel in our ability to socialize and communicate with our friends and family and other people? The participants themselves were children aged 8 to 13 and young adults aged 18 to 35. Now, in regards to the children, them being a legally settled, protected category of people, we needed to obtain consent from their legal guardians. That would be required for this survey to move forward. And in regards to the young adults of this survey, they would be obtained from Southern California community colleges, and with approval from various schools, we would be able to move forward with the survey using these applicants. In regards to our procedures, there will be an informational guide that is distributed to not only young children, but also young adults. In regards to the younger children being surveyed, we would distribute these informational guides to their given guardians, and then from there, the survey would be conducted to their children. Young adults will be provided with a more complex and analytical survey that is tailored more towards their age group. And with the help of the Institutional Review Board, the overseeing and procedures of this survey's construction would be finalized. It should be known that 20 participants from each sect or each group would be selected and utilized within this study. A pre-written document that explains the study's motives and aim will be provided to all guardians of all children and will be also necessarily required for all young adults participating in the survey as well. In regards to the limitations and delimitations of this study, the interest of guardians concerning their children's participation in the research study happens to be a limitation, although we have found ways to go about avoiding that becoming anything bigger than it needs to be. Alternatively, in regards to the delimitations, a larger pool of candidates for the young adults set could have been drawn to offer greater insight towards extracurricular activities, as well as the participants for the survey consisting of extracurricular facilitators could also be an additional option for future research. On that topic of implications for future research, regarding the possibility of future research relating to the study, more comprehensive resources would be required to expand upon the current data. Now, by increasing the number of researchers participating in the future studies, more helping hands will lead to a conjunction of more children surveyed, more young adults surveyed, and ultimately a more accurate representation that can be displayed. Thank you.